Right now.
Yeah. Once again, yes, brother. We're back. Reminisce Show.
Reminisce Show, man. Every Tuesday, man, 7 p.m. We just come here to reflect, connect back to our roots, man, our traditions of Sankofa, man, connecting the past, present, and future. You know how we do, man. We just vibing out, doing our thing.
This is what we do.
That's it, man. And how are you doing, though?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing really good.
That's peace.
The last couple of days, I've been on my Busta Rhymes vibe and Tupac vibe, and just banging out some songs, man. I'm really focused on this little project. I don't want to talk about it too much, but I'll talk about it here because this is a special place.
This is where you free up, man. Yeah, let us know what's going on, man. What's up?
There's a Mindbender project coming before the end of the year. That's all I'm going to say. And
okay, because when you say project, like there's many artistic lanes and
yeah. Well, it's like,
what are you talking about, man?
Original Mindbender rapping.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought that up because I do wear many
expressions. You know what I mean?
So I've been getting some beats. I don't talk about it too much, but I'm getting beats from a brother in Nigeria. So.
Say a word. Speak more on that, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. This year I was like, let me try something different. And I was looking for a different sound this summer. And I just was poking around and I heard some beats I loved. And it turns out it was his brother that's living in Lagos. So I've been connecting with this cat in Nigeria for the last 6 months. And he's producing the whole project. It's the whole thing. And it's on some gangstar like Guru and Premier shit. And, RZA and Raekwon shit. So I just... one producer, one MC, and I'm feeling great about it.
Wow, that's incredible, man. I love any kind of connection that brings us back to like the motherland, and especially with today's technology, and man, how we're able to utilize that and just build bridges. So that's real peace, man. That's real peace. Nigeria, man.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. So yeah, man. I'm really feeling good about that. I'm also writing a book, but I won't say nothing about that. It's just
whoa, hold on, man. Like you're writing a book, like you got to give a little splash, man. Just a little.
The only splash. It's a book about my concert history in Toronto. So
wow,
I'm starting to put it down. I'm not talking about it much, but I should start planting these seeds and letting people know. It's been a 25-year history, and I just. Because as you were telling me a story before we go, I was like, we were talking about the Decisive story, and I was like, was I there? And I've been to thousands of concerts, so I'm like, I need to start documenting this. So
yeah,
especially right now since we can't go there.
I'm excited for that, because you've definitely been to a lot of concerts. You've written about a lot of concerts, and you have like a really like nice eye, when you explain things and how you're able to just bring like the listener or the audience along on the journey. You know what I mean? So that's going to be pretty exciting, man. That's a lot of years of content, of like not just going to concerts, but literally being like part of it. You know what I mean? Like, so
you're so right.
It's like a bystander. You're like integrated in the whole formula.
You're so right. And I mean, it got to the point, it's just getting so deep that one of the flyers we pulled out a few weeks ago, my brain didn't remember it as sharply as I thought. And I was like, I have so many hip hop memories if I'm not having an instant flashback of the time where I hosted the Inspector Deck concert show at the Opera. And I was like, whoa, I've got too many memories if I can't automatically recall that. So as I was doing some research, I found some footage on YouTube, and I saw the footage of me hosting it. I'm introducing Inspector Deck.
No doubt.
And I was looking at it, and I was like, I am so far away from that version of me that I barely remember doing that. Because
there's so much.
I've done so much. So I was like, it's really time to start putting it down.
Well, this just confirms the importance of documentation, the importance of just just making sure you capture those moments, because there's just so many of them, and all of those need to be captured and represented, man, because I can only imagine your experiences.
You're absolutely so right. And it's getting to the point where, I mean, I have to very much weigh which concert experiences I put in. Like, I've seen people who are important to me, but then I'm like, well, the book has I'm not gonna break down all the details and give it everything. I don't want to talk about sequels, whatever. I mean, there probably should be one, but first I got to start with one book with a limited amount of information. So I'm like, there's X amount, and I've decided this is the amount I'm going to do. It's like a hip hop number. That's all I'm going to say, and it's that. And I'm going to be like, these are my concert memory experiences. And then I was thinking, all right, I saw Cannabis a couple times. I'm going to put Cannabis in there because that was a very powerful show. And then obviously, like the Wu-Tang and certain people are really big. And then it hit me like, oh, Pharaoh Monch, I got to tuck him in. Yes. Then I'm like, well, it's got to be. I'm having a problem because I don't know like how many Canadian shows I can put in, but some huge shows. But I'm like, I gotta put Mishi Me in there.
Yeah.
And there's just that's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to go on too much about it.
But that sounds exciting, and you know what I mean. I see this as like, a document that captures like moments in time, moments of history, so that we can like build on, and that just is the Reminisce show. You know what I mean, right there in book form, man. So yeah, we're definitely gonna look out for that, man, because that's exciting, man. That's exciting, man.
Thank you. That's down the road. There's a few other Mindbender projects coming and Malcolm Lovejoy projects before, but the way I want to go into this Lil Wayne thing.
Yes.
Because on a good note, No Ceilings 3 came out and he's rhyming on there and he's just putting real lyricism back out of hip hop, and it's always good when rappers just rap with real content instead of doing like watered down crap. And I also what?
Oh, just giving a shout out to Boy Wonder, man, because I know he has like production credits on that album as well.
Word up, and Drake's on there. It's cool. But the really cool thing is Lil Wayne has his children rhyming on it on a couple songs.
Oh, that's cool. I like that, man. Okay.
It's really interesting. Both his daughter and his son, young kids, and he just gives them the whole song. He doesn't even rap with them. He just lets his kids rhyme on it. And I just want to note that because I'm like, that's pretty cool.
That is.
I'm like, no matter what, man, no matter how much, I'm very disappointed with the one thing he said. I want to criticize it. He doesn't say anything political, basically the whole album. He's just rhyming, but he just goes, haven't paid my taxes, fucking with Trump. That's what he says in one line on one song. And I'm like, people are like, hey, you're like promoting financial irresponsibility because you're a Trump supporter. Like
yeah. It's a little strange. Like, you know what it is? Like, I know with artists and creativity, like when you're coming up with like words and just flows and stuff, and Wayne's like a freestyle, kind of guy. You know what I mean? By no means am I making excuses or whatever, but it's just like, you're just grabbing on whatever that will connect the dots. So like your rhyme, flow, and pattern and whatever. But I don't know. You know what I mean? It is a strange line. I mean, you know what I mean? Considering the times that we're in right now, but it is Lil Wayne, so you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really surprise me at all at the same time.
I hear you, and I do want to play this Lil Wayne song because this is actually dope as hell. Like, whoo! It's something else, man. It's something else.
Called something else? What's it called, yo?
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that. It's called Lamar.
Oh, Lamar. All right. Let me see. We get this played on. All right. Go ahead.
I spit that ROC, nothing but crack, bitch. Get my cleats, cause I'm running this rap shit. Y'all know me, this ain't nothing but practice. I run the streets and I'm running this rap shit. I got bars OD, I've been running this rap shit. I run this bitch like I'm Lamar Jackson, the takeover. The break's over, hit your brakes cause the race over. I'm the case closer, bust your whole fucking face open. That's a makeover. Lean, make every soda grape soda. Purple taste golden, make me have my skaters skate over. Pick a place soldier, you a place soldier. You a snake, you a fake cobra. You ain't safe, have the safe open. I need paid Yola, on your knees, nigga, where the keys? I'm like Beethoven, it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight, a pin to a test. I bring the knife to his sunlight and zen to her stress. I bring the gun to a fist fight, the dick to her breast. She want to come on a tongue like it's mental breath. This is grown man B.I. R.I.P.P.I. Nigga, you might be a C.I. talking to the FBI. Big B's to the east side. Now she's on my G5. Fuck on her to some C5. Cut on funeral and she died. Your peach ain't long enough. Your peach ain't strong enough. Your beach ain't warm enough. You ain't been in the throne cause the seat ain't warm enough. And nigga, I'm the only one. I got the crown on. I'm the goat and you the pony, son. Don't let me do it till I'm done it cause I overdo it. The chopper was too big for me. Had to grow into it. Inside the city is big for me. If I told you we hit this crib and broke into it. If it's smoke, we blew it. We don't believe you. You need more. Ain't shit sweet, boy. You need more.
Definitely goes hard. But you see, like his flow, like he has that building blocks, like that's what I mean. So when he's rapping, he's just like you know what I mean, just downloading. You know what I mean? So
he really just flows insanely. Like the whole song, he just obliterates it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. There's so many examples in hip hop of. Honestly, this year it's been both Common and Talib Kweli and Black Thought, like people who I personally disagreed with morally, but they put out rhymes that are really fucking dope. And it's like, oh man,
that's
the whole separate the art from the artist problem comes up time and time again in hip hop. Because I was very disappointed in hip. I was like, I want to curse Lil Wayne for 4 years for supporting Trump.
Right.
But those rhymes are dope. But I'm still mad at him.
Hey man, that's real, man. This is the complexities of the things that we go through in our experiences, man, when they intertwine and all of that, though. But there is. I like that there is intersections that we can agree on appreciation. It may not be every aspect of it or whatever, but we can find like our places where we build. You know what I mean? So that's good, man. But like speaking of building. We have like a special guest today, man. Like you always know, like some of like the illest people. I know that a couple weeks ago we were reminiscing on some old concerts. Well, kind of always reminisce on concerts because man, we missed them. No, but one in particular though, with Notorious B.I.G. man, Biggie. I don't know if it was like his first performance in Toronto or
his only.
Oh, okay. Well,
he only came here once.
So we played some of that footage and it was crazy, man. We're just like looking at that and such like an epic moment in Toronto history and just hip hop history. But my mentor was able to find someone who was actually at the concert that day, man. So I don't know when you want to speak on like how that link came about and the connection and all that, man. But we got some like eyewitness accounts. Someone who was actually at the concert, and we're gonna play some of the footage as well so people can understand the energy, like the vibration, man, just the hip hop in its purest form. You know what I'm saying? We got someone who was there. And this was like back in like 95, just to give a perspective. You know what I mean? So very, very different time era. Or was it 94? Anyways, we're going to get to those details.
I think let's ask her about it, yo. Like, let's bring in our friend. I'm so happy to have her here. And she's an artist. She's DJ, writer, thinker, Toronto historian. Good friend, and just she's
right. Let's add her on this. Yes, peace. Welcome.
What up, hey, how's it going? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we got you, man. We good.
Thank you.
Yes.
How you doing?
Yeah, that concert was crazy. Oh my God. Yeah, I love telling Addie that story, and
so walk us. Like what was happening that day? Like was it like raining? Was there like a big promotion for this show? Like
no, it was summer. It was summer, I believe. Definitely summer. What I was wearing, it was summer. It was right after. I'm not sure if the full album had dropped or if it was the singles, Unbelievable and. What was the other one? The flip side, Juicy. Those two singles. I remember Cam and I used to play them a lot at CKLN. So like we were vibing with each other on that. The show happened. I went with a friend, whatever. And it was at the most illegal place ever. It was Gerrard and Yonge Street. Now it's all torn down.
Okay.
Yeah, all of that is torn down. But it was totally illegal. You had to go downstairs into the basement. I swear to God, I don't think there was a fire exit. There was no security between like the stage and the crowd. So it was just kind of like a whole crush of people. My shorty and I, it was kind of funny because like they're playing music. It was kind of sketchy. It felt like, like if you're at an MOP concert, so like, okay, some weird vibe, something's gonna happen. You don't want it to happen, but you kind of know that it will be this tale to tell. So you kind of are like into it, whatever. And so I guess DJ X was DJing. At one point, a bottle went flying over everybody's head. Then like the whole crowd ended up in this weird like circle thing. I was like, ooh, whatever. The lights went off, and then everyone was really freaking out. And then the lights come back on, and then all you hear is over the microphone, "Will DJ X please come back to the stage? Will DJ X please come back to the stage?" So like my friend and I, we busted out laughing. We're like, oh my God, what the hell happened? Then Big comes on. He had like a bottle of Jack Daniels with him, whatever. And he comes out with his DJ. He's talking to the crowd a bit, and he's kept telling the DJ to just drop something. And then like, of course, I'm being extra with my friend, and I just looked at my friend. I'm like, why can't he just like freestyle? What the hell? Whatever. And then all of a sudden you hear Big looks at his DJ, because his DJ's really like trying to talk to him, and goes, "What? What's that? They stole the needles." And then he looked at the crowd and goes, "Wow, you people in Toronto are shysters." It was a very wild, it was a very wild concert. It was kind of like a house party out of control or whatever.
On that note,
the sound was okay. Like, if I'm going to be honest, it wasn't like the best. You didn't say like, oh my God, that was the best concert. But like, it was just like the energy and the vibe. And it was big, and like his singles had just dropped. So he was like really exciting to be there. But it was a bit of a crazy crowd.
How many people were there?
Oh my God. All I know is the place was packed.
How big was
oh my God, how big was the place? It was maybe double the comfort zone type of space, maybe like double that type of size.
Okay.
You remember like how big the comfort zone was? Like maybe about double that, but it wasn't like, it wasn't huge, but it was definitely, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred people were in there, but like we were pretty rammed in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was telling Addie that I couldn't stop laughing because when I was leaving with my friend, there was some chick with she was in heels, which was a huge tell. Like, this chick isn't a real hip hop person, but like she's wearing heels and she's leaving and she's bitching to her friend about, oh, who's he calling a bitch? And I thought, bitch, you don't even have the album, because there is no surprise with any of his content. If that's, you know what I mean? I'm like, dude, it's not like Arrested Development was playing. This is like Biggie.
The song is called "Me and My Bitch."
Yeah, but that was
like take it or leave it.
No, but even like just how he was.
Wow.
Yeah, but even like just how he was with the crowd and stuff, he was pretty funny. But it was an out of control crowd. But like, X was never found again. We have no idea what happened. I think he just packed up and took off as soon as the power went off and the bottle went flying. And X was like, "Peace out, I'm out of here." Basically. Like, that was it for X pretty much. That was pretty funny. Yeah, but it was a fire hazard.
Yeah, so we have someone on in the comments, Eric, just mentioned that spot used to be an arcade.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, okay.
There was that footage that came out recently of Oliver playing pool with Biggie in a Coogee sweater. And in the basement part, and it looked like there were some video games. I don't know if it was in the same room or in the same area or anything, but like that footage is out. And I did talk to one of the promoters. He was, I can't remember his name, but he used to write for Swag as well with Apple. And he was one of the guys who helped. He goes, "Yeah, I drove Biggie around all day the day that he was here. So in my travels, Karen, you are one of 4 or 5 people that I know was at the show, besides DX. But
But hold on, you have some footage though, no? You want to play
That was
some
pretty funny.
people can check it out.
Oh yeah, let's throw on this footage. Yeah, Karen.
So we can get a vibe, yo. Like,
I hope it's a good flashback for you. Hold on a second.
yeah, man. Like, you don't get those kind of vibes anymore, man. And just like this was Toronto. This was the energy, man. We were so hungry for hip hop.
Oh my
starving. That's what it just looked like, man. We were starving for it, yo.
That's crazy. Oh shit. I don't know if they got you on camera, Karen.
No, I was on the right of the stage though. I was at the right-hand side. But like the stage, like honestly, the stage came. Colleen, by the way, I can see Colleen says that she can't see me. I'm incognito, so that's why you're not seeing me. But the stage, it literally maybe came up to like your chest area. Like it was so kind of like, yeah. And there was like really, excuse me, nothing between the stage and the crowd. It was really
like,
crazy.
Yeah. Like a real intimate vibe, and a real intimate vibe.
There was no opening acts. Was there anybody rapping before him?
No, it was just I didn't remember anybody opening. No, it was when I got there. X was DJing, so if somebody did, but I thought like my friend and I, we got there. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't remember anybody opening.
It would be interesting to see if this. Yeah. Huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you were also a DJ though. Besides just seeing that Biggie show, I've known you as an artist and through many various experiences and things in Toronto history. But do you want to talk about your DJ and anybody like maybe a favorite or least favorite interview that you did as a DJ on CKLN? Because
oh my God, the least favorite was Jeru the Damager.
Oh no! Whoa! Can't leave like that. What happened? Oh, hopefully we'll get her back on. Now I'm so curious to know like what happened. Oh, here we go. And
yeah, no, I couldn't stand. He was dude was a beef. He was like a jerk. Live. He started talking to somebody on the street live while I was interviewing him. He was like the worst. The best person I interviewed would have had to have been Ursula Rucker was cool, but I really, really loved the guy from Lone Catalyst. I can't believe Jay Sands. He was very, very dope. He was very interesting. the interview probably wasn't my best interview or whatever, but what I loved was when my friend and I went to the show, he was like, he wasn't like, say, Common, who's trying to like check every chick. You know, you're talking to the dude and the dude's like, whatever, right? But Jay Sands was cool because he brought me like their new album. It was like just decent conversation, like, you know, brother to sister. It was very cool. That is a very cool and interesting guy, actually. I always think Lone Catalyst should have been much bigger than they were, to be honest. Yeah. But it's too bad that CKLN is no longer. I think about that so much because there's so much, and people now, like anyone maybe who was born in I don't want to say like if I would say millennials missed out on like a lot of hot stuff with CKLN and with CIUT, because I remember like the Master Plan show. That was, oh my God, I used to love listening to Jay Bronsky and Emotion late at night, and CKLN was such an interesting place. I don't think I realized until like it all shut down just how rich an experience it was, because there were so many different artists that were coming through, so many interesting DJs. Like it was just kind of ridiculous, like just how much musical and cultural and activist knowledge and people and connections that were there, right? Across age groups and experiences and stuff. And like, that's just something that, yeah, is just kind of, it's lost. Someone needs to do a documentary on CKLN, to be honest. That would be like really wicked.
Connect and exchange and whatnot. So true that these stories, that we have to capture them and make sure that they're not forgotten.
Yeah. Well, and also there's a lot of history that is only oral. Like, do you remember this cat Jaribu? He was an older guy. He's probably in his 60s. He passed away maybe in the past 5 years or whatever. But he was originally from the States. He was a jazz musician. And I'd always see him around Toronto. He used to play with all these different bands and stuff. And he would give me all this interesting history about Toronto, like Chinatown around Dundas or whatever. That was like really Caribbean and stuff. Like he just, you know, I was blown away with the amount of stuff he'd be saying. I kept thinking to myself, holy crap, I should just be like, with a little recorder. Yeah, because like that's the type of information that's just gone when the person or people who were involved, when they're gone, it's just gone, especially with the older set.
Yeah.
People, if they're in their 60s and 70s, if you're not talking to them, like you're missing out on a whole bunch of interesting information.
What's the name of your show? What name did you go by when you were on CKLN?
Oh, I just used my name. The show was based Black African Sisters of Soul. I was on for 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I started out, I remember doing fill-ins for the jazz shows, which were at like 7 a.m, which was like god-awful time to like be up and focus. But that was also interesting. The jazz heads, you got to like look around in the CKLN library and just really scope out all this interesting these records and everything. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Library.
That was a great room back there. Oh, I apologize to the college gods for the records that I stole.
And then even like I remember I used to prep sometimes if I was filling in for a jazz show. I used to prep by going like on a Friday night or something like that, so I'd have time to, because it's a 4-hour jazz program. So I go in there, and I remember it'd be like David Kingston or who used to do the So Calypso Sounds. What's the guy? Do you remember the guy who used to do So Calypso Sounds? He was hilarious. The guy was hysterical. I can't believe I just forgot his name. He ended up on Chin Radio at one point. But that was an experience. I remember I was quite young at the time, and it would be like, by the time you'd be at the top of the stairs at Ryerson, and like you're entering the stairwell, and all you smell is all this weed. Weed smoke. You go down the stairs, and as soon as you entered into the radio station part, holy crap, it was just like wall to wall dreads. Rastaman all over. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I just want to get into this other studio and listen to records, but hi.
Facts, yo.
Yeah.
Posters all over the walls of all the flyers of all each week, and then somebody in the room, the record room, and then the room with the glass on the other side.
Side, yeah.
Oh my goodness, the guests in that other side room were just so numerous.
Yeah.
Yo, actually, very strangely, hilariously, I saw a Bishop Brigante. He just mentioned on Twitter just last week, he goes, I gained my fame the old school way by calling up on a radio show and defending my reputation week after week on the telephone.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was like, that is a fucking fact. He did that, and he was calling CKLN for months.
Yeah.
Rhyming on like when that was, wow.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I was just like, yeah.
Good, man. No, like college radio was integral. Like that was like our platform, the only place where like artists could even be heard and explored and whatnot, because mainstream radio wasn't having it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, because these were the days before Flow
Exactly
was around. People need to understand that. So that is where you'd hear everything, was all on community radio.
That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Like if we like imagine if we didn't have that outlet, like then what?
Yeah.
Listen.
Exactly.
So that's how integral it was, you know. So big up CKLN, big up CIOT, all those people who spend a lot of time, energy into like pushing these stations forward, you know what I mean, and fighting for and advocating over the years. You know what I mean? Like it's for the communities, for our people. Like this is what we need, right? So
shout out Tim, the program director. But shout out Lord Knows What, and shout out Circle Research Show.
Oh yes.
And Static Show, like
dropping dimes.
Dropping dimes, dropping dimes. They grew up and graduated. Shout out Mel Boogie, still carrying the torch for real. Mel Boogie, super Speaking of somebody one day.
Well, hey man, Reminisce Show. This is what we do, man. Get back.
And I would like to shout out Marva Jackson, who used to do Ghetto Music. That was the show that was on Thursdays in the morning, I think from like 11 to 2. She mentored me, and a lot of people were heavily influenced by her show, because not only did she put on a wide variety of Black music on her show, even just the way that she would do things, like, reading stuff over beats.
Right.
She just had like a really wide scope that she'd have on the show, reading excerpts out of different Black writers' works and stuff like that. But that show was like the hot show up until, God, when did she leave? Because she was on in the 80s, late 80s to maybe like the early 90s, something like that.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I feel like she was on longer, like that totally predates me or whatever. But a lot of people may forget her, but she was like the Black community. That was the flippin' show, I have to say. Like whenever it was time for fundraising, like Ghetto Music used to, get all like the West Indians uptown. It was, that was a really hot show.
Roll call, man. The troops.
Do you got any other shout outs, Karen? Anybody else you want to big up on any level?
No one is coming up to. I mean, Ron Nelson. I always love Ron Nelson. I love X. Not particularly. I can't think of anyone right now.
Yo, so what about your what are you doing now artistically or creatively or just, I mean, besides the mask? I mean, I don't know if you want to only talk about that, but you are more than a person who is at a hip hop concert and more than a DJ at CKLN.
I do mixed media artwork, so I use a lot of found materials, and I do things like sew into my canvas. I'm getting into beading a lot right now. I was showing you a piece I did with this graffiti, where I beaded graffiti, but the whole series is called Public Displays of Affection. So since the end of last year till now, I've just been taking photos of makeshift, spontaneous, unconventional memorials that I keep coming across around the city. So even in my mom's building, which is at Lawrence and Galloway, this older sister that I used to always say hi to every time I go to my mom's. Like, she passed away, and there was like a little note left above the bench. I took a picture of that. There's a photo from a piece that I haven't done yet, but I have the photo. Someone named Savannah passed away. Dundas and Ossington, there was this makeshift memorial done on these grates outside of this pizzeria, all these flowers and stuff. I took photos of that. So there's lots of stuff that I see around the city, whether it be graffiti murals or like there's this interesting signage at Isabella and Church for Voices of Positive Women, which was an organization for HIV positive women. It was a very active organization in the early 90s, but is no longer whatever. So some of those pieces that are finished that I added beadwork to onto the photos and mounted onto wood are on my website. And beyond that, because I'm caregiving for my mom now, she's at that stage and actually enrolled in a course to be an end-of-life doula or a death doula or whatever. Yeah. You know, it's funny because I find like a lot of white people are kind of hip to that. There's one sister that I saw in the States who has a really good website on it. But you know, it's interesting because it's a sacred transition, right?
It is, you know, and to be real, it's something you don't really hear about. Like I heard like the birthing, you know what I mean? Like that's like big these days. But can you speak more to that? Because I don't know, like something like resonates. That feels like really important. You know what I mean?
It is really important.
And like it sounds like I guess a healing way to transition, like even for the family and whatnot. I guess you can speak more to it.
Absolutely. It's interesting because when I've been thinking about it for a while, for a few years, and the first actual experience that I have, I love Colleen. She volunteered in palliative care for decades. Yeah, she's great. I remembered a friend of mine in the early 90s. He was HIV positive. He got full-blown AIDS. And what was interesting, it was like an anarchist community I was involved with then. But his friends, there was a core group of friends who actually pretty much did like what an end-of-life doula does. Like they just organized stuff with him from, you know, when he was in his final weeks. He was at Wellesley Hospital where they had an AIDS care section. So like, you know, they'd kind of like book different friends to be with him, right? So like we would come, we'd have our shift, we'd make him a meal, and like, you know, we'd sleep on the floor next to his bed. So like he would never be alone. And people have to realize at that time, especially people who had AIDS, like you were really dealt with not in the best way. You know, like people would have like hazmat suits type of thing or whatever.
Wow.
Oh yeah. It was really something else. And, you know, and they also organized with him. I remember being at his place and he was there, like just even going through all of his things and like, you know, just making a list of like what he wanted to go to who, and he would talk to each of us independently and be like, oh, you know, so you never took piano lessons. I remember I said that to him because like couldn't afford a piano. My mom had me in piano lessons, but I had no piano. So it was like the cardboard and the piano book. Whatever, practicing, and you know, so he passed on a keyboard to me, like, so it was just very interesting how they came together as a community for him. And you know, I keep thinking about like people who are like outsiders, especially because you know, when you're not white middle class, you get treated very, very differently in medical care, especially, you know, as Black people. I don't know, Addie, if I told you about like the crazy dentist who tried to keep insisting on drilling into my mouth without giving me anesthesia. You know, it's kind of crazy.
What?
Yeah. But so like I kind of see that like for me, I would like to support people like us, like from certain class backgrounds, Black and brown people who are from communities that, you know, aren't really given a certain type of dignity or whatever. And it's really important, especially for people to understand, that transition period. I'm reading a lot of books right now because my course doesn't start until February or whatever. I got a scholarship for the International End of Life Doula Association. So I'm taking the course with them.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. But No, but
That's
it's
really
important.
fascinating, man. That really is, and yeah, like I'm curious to learn more, most definitely, and to just see your journey evolve and develop.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, it's interesting because now that I'm looking after my mom more, because she's in her mid-80s, whatever, and so like it's a very real thing for me now. But also because I keep thinking of other people who don't have a child, they don't have somebody there that's helping to look after them or advocate for them, or maybe talking to them about what do they want. Like I have a basic understanding of some of my mom's like desires around medical care, for example. Like, she's like, don't do this. If they want to do this to me, don't let them do it. I'm like, okay,
right,
I got you. But I think it's important. It's an interesting discussion because we really don't think of, it's almost like death is like a losing thing. Like, oh my God, the person died, whatever, as opposed to like the quality of life. If somebody knows that they are near the end, like whatever age. And then what's interesting too, especially because now I'm talking to Hospice Toronto because I'll be volunteering with them. They have this program for children who are caregivers, which is also pretty interesting because there's a lot of young people who have to take on very adult roles, right? With a family member, who may,
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Okay.
Because it really is the quality of your life when you're going, right? Like sometimes people are like, save this person, save this person. It's like sometimes it's like you just need people there to help you figure out like how you're feeling, like take space with you and let you and let them express, how they're feeling if they're having life review or whatever. And an interesting thing with the end of life doulas is they also do legacy projects, which is so that's one area that I think I would be good in as a creative person. And since a lot of my artwork has to do with loss and memorialization and stuff, they have these projects that you can do with that person, their family members. It can be around memories or, just creating something with them. So like, when the person's left, like maybe it could be like an art piece or something. It could be a book of letters. It could be a booklet of, I don't know, some of their favorite whatever, maybe recipes or, what I mean? Like just whatever it is that they want to pass on. And yeah.
That's amazing.
Wow. Powerful.
That's amazing. Good luck with that work. I hope it takes you exactly where you want to be with it. That's really important and special.
Yeah, and I love Colleen's comment about how someone who is palliative is still alive, and sadly sometimes people forget that. That's true too. And there's actually, what I found out through Hospice Toronto, there's also a newer hospice for I can't believe I just forgot the name of it, but it's for the homeless who have to go into hospice.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's very interesting, like trying to meet people where they are.
That's it.
Whatever.
Powerful. Yeah, well, that's a very important work, and that's incredible. Yeah. All right. So Menda, you have the what do you call it?
What's that he got in his bag? What's he got in his bag?
There's a whole variety of flyers, but there's a whole bunch of levels of stuff. Some of it is not hip hop stuff, but some of it is hip hop stuff. And well, that's not even a show. I don't know. Do you remember when this happened? The Black Experience Project?
Yes, that was a few years ago, maybe about 3, maybe 4 years ago.
Did they ever? I thought it was really interesting. Did they ever put out the results of what they got? Because I remember doing my interview at the library at Yonge and Ford.
Right. That's a good question. I know that some stuff has been put out, but I don't know to what scope. Whether there has been some stuff. That's a good thing to follow up on to see like what some of the findings.
Yeah. Oh, we got.
What you got there, man? Got some hip hop?
We got this one. Do you remember
Master Ace? I don't think I was at that show.
Master Ace, and then who we got? Strickland, Wordsworth, and the Bunny. Like, this Master A show was pretty damn dope. Yeah.
Do you remember the period of sketchy hip hop promotion though in the 90s? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
That one amazing show. Oh my God, that I was so pissed off that never happened. It was was it at like Varsity Stadium or whatever? It was like Method Man, Redman.
You're talking Rap Fest.
Was that? Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
EPMD. Yeah.
It was like some members from Wu-Tang. It was like everyone, and then oh my God, but Biz Markie was DJing. I remember my friend and I, we got there, we're in the car at the back. It was like Common and I don't know, two other people, I can't remember now. They were like doing their business at the back outside. We got inside, we got a little lifted, feeling good. Biz played it was like a KRS-One track. It was like one of my favorite tracks, and then all of a sudden the lights came on and I was like the saddest person ever in life. I was like, this is the worst experience, man. You have no idea right now. Yeah. And then there was that whole story about how Method Man and Redman chased the promoter or whatever, and Keith Murray or something. There was that whole story. They wanted to get paid, and then like they said, now at this point, this is hearsay because I did not witness this, but the hearsay was pretty damn funny. They said that they chased the man down for the money. The man got the money, but it was in Canadian, and they were like, "What the fuck is this?" They wanted American money, and they said. And what was told to me was then the promoter had to go to like the airport or some nonsense to get the money or whatever. I don't know, but like they beat him up or they threatened to beat him up or something. And I just always thought that was the most hilarious story, but it was the most depressing experience at a concert.
I feel your pain for that, man. Oh man.
But one of the best concerts, remember the KRS-One concert with Channel Live and Mad Lion? Were either of you there?
At the Opera House?
Yeah, it was at the Opera House. Fucking best concert. Whoever was DJing, I have to say, I still to this day want to know who was DJing because that person was putting the a cappella over like a beat that you weren't expecting. So like, let's say you had, let's say it's Master Ace or whatever, right? So it's you hear his voice, you're like, oh, okay, I think I know what track this is. And then all of a sudden, the person would put on like Mad Skills instrumental, and you're like, what the F? Like it worked, but you're like, what the F? I wasn't expecting that. And it was like every effing song. Like after the fourth time it was done, my friend and I looked at each other and we're like, oh, that's it. That's wow. It was so good. And then like KRS-One just comes through the crowd. I didn't realize how tall he was until like, he came through the crowd. But that was like one of the best concerts. Oh my God, that was such a good concert. And in the audience, it was like rap royalty, Toronto rap royalty in the audience. It was beautiful. Yeah, Michi Lee had Dream Warriors over on the other side there. It's like little factions of people that you just recognize. You're like, oh my God, this person's here, that person's there. But yeah, that is like one of my favorite. Oh hi, Cutie Pie. But that was like one of my favorite concert memories for sure.
Amazing. Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here and sharing some of these like incredible like gems, super exclusive. We'll have to have you back on again.
All right.
Yeah. I know there's more. I know there is. I can feel it.
Yeah, for real. If you would want. So, thank you for being a guest, though. And honestly, that was perfect because this is what we're trying to do. Just reminisce on the past and bring it right back to the present and just have it guide our futures because, we don't want to. All of us, it's so funny. We make all the jokes and just be like, oh, it was better back in the day. And, now I'll like, it's so good to see your daughter come up here, Neil, because it's like, there was a time where, we were all young kids in hip hop and Nas was 19 and, Prodigy was 19 and all these things. And we were all teenagers. And it's like, wow, here we are. You know, so we were just trying to carry on. Thank you, Karen, so much for bringing the Biggie story and all the other things. Because I mean, I didn't even know that you were doing the doula stuff, but that is literally ties into the whole idea of the show. Because before things die, you know, you have to give it the moment of tribute and honor and praise, that which is what we're trying to do. So, peace to all the African traditions that we're trying to keep alive.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
No problem. No problem. And Neil, you want to end off with the classic reminisce outro?
Well, you got that?
Yeah, no, I'm gone now. I think Karen just said thanks and she's out.
Okay, all right. We out of here, man.
Okay.